Caitlin Wilder, thank you so much for being on the Woo Report.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
You are a doula.
Yes.
You are, is mommy blogger a word still these days?
I don't know. Honestly, you know what? I'm glad we're here. Let's just get into it. I don't know what I am. Well, help. I don't know if I'm a mommy blogger. I cannot for the life of me get out the words content creator, but I think that's what I am.
I mean, what I'll say is I wish I had you.
Oh,
when I had my first.
Yeah.
Because it was totally chaotic and challenging, and like I think the mentally and physically the hardest and the biggest test I've ever had, and I'm pretty sure I failed it.
Yeah. Absolutely. But in a fun way. That's what I always say. It's like, I mean, you're definitely not failing, but anytime I feel like I'm failing, I'm like, well, at least I'm trying to have a good time.
I was going through your Instagram and I was like, I wish I would have seen this when I had my first, because I was just Googling like 8-week-olds crying, 9-week-olds upset.
Well, that's kind of why I started my Instagram, and I'm in this place too where I don't have a newborn, but I am a postpartum doula also, and I'm so passionate about the postpartum period because I didn't have anyone like me either when I first had my son, and I saw was people with these just perfectly curated lives and their baby's sleeping all the time, and there was no one being like, hey, this sucks, but it's also great, and it's okay if everything is a mess. That's wonderful too, and here's what's going on, and here's why you don't have to take everything so seriously, because that was also what I was doing with my first. So I really
1000%.
I really try to come from a place of showing people there's another way to do things, and it's a lot messier than what you might normally see on Instagram, but that's the real way. And that's kind of, to me, the most joyful way of doing things. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm glad to hear sometimes it comes across, because other times I'm like, I don't know what is happening or what this content is for or who's going to be into this, but here we go.
Here we go. We're doing it.
Yep.
And I'm so happy that our friend Mel, shout out Mel, connected us.
Yes.
Because she saw and knows that I'm very into the woo, and turns out you are very into the woo.
Very into the woo. And what's fun about Mel too is people don't realize I've lived, I feel like, many lives, and also past lives. We can get into that too. But
we will.
Worked with Mel when I worked at Bravo. So I worked in corporate entertainment for like 12 years, and then Mel was pregnant, and I had started being a doula, and she reached out to me, and I was her doula. And it was very special with her because she kind of ushered me through both phases, and her birth was amazing. I mean, like, we went to a different planet at her birth.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
I love it. Well, she'll need to come on and talk about that, because I don't even know that story.
Yeah.
I worked with Mel at Disney, and she was just, and still is, as we've talked about, the chicest, coolest, best gal in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy she connected us. But what I love is in our first email together, Caitlin, you said to me, I met my son's soul in a past life before he was born.
Yes.
And I was like, Caitlin, when can you come on the pod and talk about this? Like, and that's exactly where I want to start.
Okay. So I'm born and raised in LA. So to me, the woo, but I'm not in a super woo-y area, you know, like, I feel like there's some people where that's just part of my dad was a lawyer, like, you know,
you weren't into Topanga Canyon.
Exactly. I wasn't into Topanga Canyon. And something in my 20s, I just started getting into the woo a little bit. And I think I saw people on Instagram that I liked. And then Kelsey Patel, the Reiki master, I saw her. And so I went to her. I just started like dabbling in these, you know, crystals, like that whole thing, but like cute crystals. And
of course.
I was talking to my mom, and my mom started telling me that my grandma in the 70s used to do past life regressions for people.
What?
Yes. And and I'm named after her. And she used to do, my grandpa worked in entertainment too. He was like the head of marketing for like Universal Pictures in the 70s. And at parties, I guess, she used to do past life regressions where she would tell people to look down at their feet and then look up. And it would like take them to whatever past life they were in. And my grandma did it for my aunts, and my mom never let my grandma do it for her. My mom was very not into it. My grandma used to do birth charts. My mom refused to let my grandma do our birth charts.
Oh my gosh.
So all of this to say, ever since I heard my grandma used to do that, I thought it was just the coolest thing. And then I heard about this guy who did past life regressions, and I was reading about him, and he said he starts his the exact same way. And I was like, oh my God, that must be the same like how my grandma learned 50 years ago. He's doing it the same way. So I made an appointment with him. This was COVID time, so it used to be in person. It was a virtual. And we're doing the past life regression, and he's asking me these questions, and I'm seeing this whole life. I'm crying. This guy I work with, I'm getting married to, and I'm like, that's going to be so awkward on our call tomorrow to be like, oh, Rich, like we used to be in love. Like, here we are now. Because, people in your past lives show up in your current life in different ways.
Oh, yeah.
So
totally.
The past life was amazing. I'm fully crying as I'm watching my daughter get married. And then the person leading it says, okay, now like go to your last day in this life. And so I go to the last day, and he's like, now watch your spirit leave your body, and where does it go? And I'm like, okay, I'm in this like astral spacey place, and there's someone here. There's someone else here. And he said, well, ask who it is. And I said, okay, he's telling me he's the spirit of my unborn son. And I've actually met him before because I had done a previous meditation or it was a course or something. I think it was to be learning Akashic records.
Oh, yes.
So during an Akashic records like training, I met this man during a meditation, and I was like, oh, he's here, and he's telling me he's the spirit of my unborn son. So the guy leading the past life regression said, ask if he needs anything to come through. And I said, oh, no, he's telling me he doesn't need anything. He's ready. I found out I was pregnant 2 weeks later. And everybody was like, are you having a boy or a girl? I said, I'm having a boy. And they said, oh, you did the test? And I said, no, I met him. Like, I know.
Oh my
People were like, what? And my husband was like, I really hope it's a girl, just so I don't have to hear for the rest of our lives about how you met our son's spirit and knew it was a boy. But I was like,
nope, you're going to hear it.
Yeah, I was like, you're going to hear it. It is a boy. Of course it was a boy. It's my son.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was amazing.
That is so wild. So when you were like meeting him, so this past life regression, because I've done a couple of them, and did the past life regressionist like ask you a million questions before you went under?
He didn't ask me a million questions. He asked if I had any questions, which I did the, basic boring ones of like, what's my soul's purpose? Which isn't basic and boring, but I didn't have anything specific. And
sure,
I asked him those kinds of things, and he didn't ask me much before. Not that I remember. And it was crazy because afterwards he was like, how long do you think that was? And I said, oh, I don't know, maybe an hour. And he was like, it was 3.5 hours.
What?
Yeah. And he sent me the recording after. And in your brain, when you're doing it and he's asking you these questions and you're answering out loud, it feels pretty like, it's going quickly. And in the recording, he would ask a question and I would be silent for like 3 minutes and then I would answer it. It was crazy.
The past couple times that I've been down, I feel so heavy when I'm under. Mm-hmm. And then I feel kind of like I have to force myself to talk.
Uh-huh.
Like I feel like it takes a lot of energy to force myself to talk. And therefore I'm like, am I just forcing this?
Oh, yeah.
Or is this real?
Yeah. I didn't feel like I was forcing it. It felt...
Wow.
But when you think about it too, it's like the things are so specific that even if you were forcing it, where would the random idea come from? Like for me, at one point I was like, oh, I'm living on a farm with like orange groves in Central California. And it's like, even if I forced that, where would that idea even have come from? Like it's coming from somewhere.
Right. Like that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Orange groves.
Yeah. So that was
to be there.
That was with my son. And then I was just talking to a friend. So I've had 2 other for my second. And if I have a third, I've had an experience too. But with my second, I really wanted to have an unmedicated hospital birth. And I had a doula who was the doula for my son. And we were really connected. And I was like, I keep envisioning this birth and I'm seeing you and I really in this together. Like I'm just seeing you and I. And I'm like, of course my husband's there, but he's clearly in the background. He's not in the like work with you and I. It's just us that I keep seeing when I think about my birth. And long story short, my husband didn't make my birth. It was too fast and he didn't make it there. So this whole time my brain was like prepping me to be
my
like,
God.
it's just going to be you and your doula. Like your husband isn't going to be there. And
you are full blown psychic. Like you're full blown. You're like having visions of your future.
Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So wait, so your grandmother though, so you never ended up, is she still with us?
No, she's not still with us. So I never got to really talk to her about it because at the time, whenever we would have conversations about it, I wasn't into any of this. So I didn't know what to ask. I would never have thought to be like, who did you train with? How did you learn to do this? Like, tell me more. I wish I could have.
I know.
But I just didn't have the opportunity, and my mom was so against it for whatever reason. But my aunt said she had one where she was a boy in the Revolutionary War. She had another where she saw that she was like a servant in Denmark or Netherlands, and she watched herself walk into a body of water and not come back out, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow.
So my grandma did it, I guess, a bunch for them. And my cousin and I found in her old stuff a book that kind of taught you a little bit how to do it. So we tried to do it together. But again, I wasn't trained in any of this. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose you on the astral plane. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to accidentally like not be able to recover you. And
my God.
But my cousin tried to do it for herself. And she saw that she was a boy, something about like golfing. But yeah, I never had a chance to ask my grandma about it. And I really wish I had, but that's just like kind of a mystery.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
Have you gone to a medium?
I have. So I had a medium experience recently. It was virtual also. And when you go into that, you're expecting it's going to be like closest grandma and grandpa that you know.
Sure.
So
it's grandma coming through. Grandma's coming through.
So I'm in this conversation with the medium and he's like, okay, I'm getting somebody, Claire. And I said, I've never met a Claire in my life. And he was like, are you sure? Because Claire's coming in really strongly. And I'm like, no, I don't know a Claire. And he's showing me things. He's like, she's showing me May 5th. And I'm like, okay, so she loves Cinco de Mayo? Like Claire loves margaritas? Maybe she's had too many margaritas and that's why she's coming into mine and I don't know who she is. And she was supposed to be meeting up with someone else during their psychic experience, but she's at mine. So I didn't know Claire. Then he's like, okay, do you know a David? And I said, no, I don't know a David. I don't know a Dave. I didn't know a David or a Dave. And he's like, how about Janet? And I'm like, I know Janet. I don't know a Janet. I didn't know a Claire. I didn't know a David. I didn't know a Janet. He's telling me all these other things. And I'm like, yeah, okay, some of this stuff is connecting, but I don't know who these randos are. Like, so I'm sitting there so pissed. Like, I just spent all this money. I was expecting to like talk to my grandma and talk to my grandpa. And instead I'm getting David and Janet and Claire. Claire, by the way, who's like, oh, you're going to have a third baby and her middle name should be Claire. That's what Claire told me. And I said, Claire, I don't even know you. So that feels like a bit presumptuous to tell me I need to name my child after you.
It is a beautiful name, though.
Beautiful name.
Maybe I'll consider it.
Yeah. So I hang up with him, and my husband's like, how was it? And I said, not great. Like, do you know a David? And he said, yeah, that's my grandpa. And I said, well, do you know a Janet? And he said, yeah, that was my grandma who was married to David. So my husband's grandparents were the ones who came through. And I was talking to my dad and I said, Dad, because Claire had said some other things about my dad's side of the family. And I said, do you know a Claire? And he said, yeah, Claire was my grandma. So it was my great grandma. And I was looking her up and she died on May 5th. So that was where the May 5th came from. So if anybody sees a psychic, my number one tip is bring a family tree with you. Ask everybody, like, hey, could you just quickly jot down like the names of your grandparents? Because I would like to at least know. So when I'm going into this, I could have maybe asked David and Janet a question instead of being like, I don't know who you are. Like, you've got nothing for me.
Wow. This is incredible. You know, that's happened to me before too in a medium session. Just like, I feel like you're so put on the spot. Mm-hmm. You know, the medium's like, well, do you know this person or who did this? Or it's like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, I feel like a deer in headlights in that moment.
Totally.
Like, there was one, I went with my friend Marnie a couple years ago, and the medium went in on, her dad had passed away, and she went in on like her dad and her dad's relationship. It was like so incredible and so definitely resonant and amazing and had all these details. And then she goes, who was in the accident? And I was like, who died in an accident? Who died? And Marnie looked at me and was like, you. Like, I was in an accident. I was in a bad accident. Like, that's the whole reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But like, in the moment, I'm like,
right.
Who was in the accident?
Exactly.
No, I was like completely like forgot.
Yeah.
It was me. Yeah. So.
No, and it's so hard because
wild.
again, then you're like, well, when they're asking specific questions like that, and then you want to be able to give the psychic the answer that they're looking for because you want them to feel good too. Like, I felt horrible telling this guy, I don't know who any of these people are. And then I had to text him like days later and be like, I just wanted to let you know, like, I actually did know these people. I just didn't know I knew them. So you were
And of course he's like, I knew you were going to know them. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, no, you do.
Yeah. But it really does put you on the spot. But it was very cool.
Yes.
I felt less on the spot with the past life regression, but yeah, the psychic thing was very cool. And I would talk to him again. I'm not somebody, when I see a psychic or anything like that, I don't have goals. I don't have things I need a particular answer in. I'm very much on, I just like to see what you want to show me or tell me what you want to tell me. I'm not going in for, specific things. And I think I was talking to somebody about this and he was like, well, couldn't it all be fake? And I said, or, is he trying to like con you? And I was like, maybe. I mean, I don't believe it. It felt very real to me. And even if he was, I left it feeling good. So that's nice. And also, I think the only situations where it feels like somebody's trying to take advantage of you is if the psychic somehow gets somebody to feel like they can't make a decision about their own life if they don't run it by the psychic first. Yeah. Because there are some people that are like that have like their psychic on retainer that every major life decision they make, they have to talk to their psychic first. That to me feels a little predatory.
1000%.
But yeah, other psychics, like, I don't think that they're doing that at all.
I feel like that's maybe a thing that was happening and maybe when I was in my 20s. I feel like I had a friend who was going to someone over and over and I could not roll my eyes harder at her for it. But like, yes, predatory is a word I would use for that. Yeah. As soon as I got into woo-woo, I was like, ooh, let's go. Yeah. Like, let's just see who wants to party. Yeah. Let's just see who wants to hang out. Yeah. Like, I had a really crazy one actually when, and it started kind of serious because I feel like, so, I got run over by a car. And when I got run over by a car, my consciousness flew out of my body. Whoa. So I saw myself laying there.
I have chills.
And then I flew back in. Honestly, so do I.
Wow.
Sometimes that happens too. Because I had this out-of-body experience, a near-death experience. I was pregnant with my second at the time, who is the chillest baby, whatever. He's 4 now. So before this experience, my dad, who's a hypnotherapist, was doing past life regressions with my best friend. And I was like, you two are out of your goddamn minds. I get run over by a car and I was like, I was forced to look inward. I was kind of like forced to like do some work on myself and like open up to different belief systems than I had before. Yeah. And a girlfriend of mine, this is like 6 months after the accident, sent me this conversation she had with a medium that was like on GChat or something. Yeah. It was like a friend that was accidentally a medium. It wasn't like she was booking a session. It was like a friend that she knew that was like, your friend Tony is here with me and wants to talk to you.
Wow, on GChat? Okay, I love that.
I know.
Tony's got like an away message in the astral plane that's like, BRB, I'm on GChat.
Like, let me slide into your GChat real fast. And so Tony was a friend of ours from high school who died in 2019. And he came through and he was an atheist when we were here, like on this planet. He was an atheist. In this like GChat conversation with the medium, he came through and said, I wasn't completely wrong, but I wasn't completely right either. There's no one big guy in the sky. And I'm learning so many lessons. And he had messages for his wife that he had left behind. He was very into music. And he said, tell my wife that if she needs an answer, she'll feel me in the wind. Wow. And my friend Becky said, well, maybe it's just windy, Tony. And he said, no, tell her it's a song. Tell her the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. And I'm
covered in chills. I don't even know Tony.
Me too. I started crying. I was bawling my eyes out. And I was just like, this is the first time I felt like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, this messaging is something that like nobody can just like come up with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like, so beautiful. So then I told my two best friends about that, Sarah and Allie. And then when I was in LA the next time, we went to a medium in LA. And the LA medium, like immediately, she was like, a friend of yours is here, Tony, male friend Tony. And we all were like, and then she was like, he says he's the reason why you're all here. And he is the reason because I had told them that story. And Sarah was like, let's go to this medium.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, I like love it because like, yeah, it does give you chills. And it's also like, ooh, there's something else out there.
Totally.
It's not just us.
Totally. And I believe people definitely have gifts like that they are, for whatever reason, more open to that or more able to connect. But when you think about it, like you have so much energy with a person when they're alive and connection. I don't want to live in a world where that just then disappears because they're no longer physically with us. Like that's not the world I want to live in. That's not how I want to live my life. Amen. I want to think that we're all still connected no matter what, if not connected in even bigger ways. So I hate when people also are like, that's not real. Like, why would you believe that? And it's like, well, why wouldn't you want to believe that? Why wouldn't you want to believe something like that's possible, that can connect you with people and provide comfort or guidance? Like, it's not anything bad. Nobody's using it in a bad way. It's just a beautiful thing.
And in a world where it's like 2025 and everyone's like, let's do therapy. Like, let's protect our peace. Like, if your peace is believing that like you can stay connected with other people, then like, go for it. Like,
okay, so what
if that's gonna make you feel better?
Yeah. Okay, so what other kind of like wooey things have you done or do you do?
Well, let's do a little game.
Oh, this is your
game.
Want
to do a little game? Okay. This is so silly.
I'm so excited.
I thought about this in the shower this morning, and I was like, you know what? Maybe Caitlin will do this game with me. And
all the best ideas come in the shower.
You know what? They totally do. Yeah. They totally do. Okay, this is called How Woo Are You?
Oh, I love this already.
So you're holding a microphone with one hand, but I'm going to have you put up the other hand. Okay. And, you know, if you've done it or if you've experienced it, you're going to put up a finger. Okay. And because this is a podcast, give us like a 5-second like response on it. Of course. There's 10 questions, so we'll see what your number is out of 10.
Okay, perfect.
And we'll see how woo you are. Okay, perfect. Are you 10 out of 10?
Okay, I can't wait.
Number 1. Do you know your astrology sun, moon, and rising signs?
Yes, I definitely know my sun. I'm a Gemini sun, and then I think I'm a Cancer moon.
She's checking.
Of course I'm checking. Let me pull up my co-star really fast.
Of course we have co-star.
Because I connect so much with being a Gemini, and I know that they say though that it's like your moon sign or more is okay. I'm a Gemini sun, Capricorn moon, Cancer rising.
Ooh.
So I
don't know anything about astrology. Okay.
All I know is Gemini, and I'm very much a Gemini.
Ooh, okay. I love this for you. Yeah. I love that you feel connected in that way.
Yes.
So good. Okay, so we got one.
Yes.
We got one. Number 2. Have you connected with loved ones via a medium?
Well, technically they weren't my loved ones because I didn't know them at the time, but afterwards I realized they were loved ones of my loved ones. So yes.
Yes. Have you ever pulled a card from a tarot or oracle deck?
Yes, I have. I did one, I think, tarot reading at a bachelorette party, so I don't really remember it. But still very into it.
Too much tequila.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, at that bachelorette, somebody pulled a card and she was like, so this is your second husband that you're with? And she's like, no, I've only been married once. And basically revealed that this person was going to get divorced and remarried again. So like, be careful bringing a second or a tarot card reader to a bachelorette party.
So, is she married again?
No, not yet, but we're all like waiting.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
What an omen.
I know. Okay, so 3 for 3.
Okay, 3 for 3. Number 4, have you ever lit Palo Santo or saged your house?
Obviously.
Number 5, have you ever said we knew each other in a past life or done a past life regression?
1,000,000,000% yes. Absolutely.
We are 5 for 5. Number 6, have you heard of human design?
Okay, I was going to say if you don't bring up human design, I'll be bringing up human design because as much as I love astrology, human design changed my life.
Oh my God. We are going to get into human design. I can't wait to get into human design, but that's going to be next. Okay. Number 7. Do you feel like you can connect or talk to trees, plants, or nature?
Oh, I don't know that I've ever thought about talking to them, but I do feel like I connect with them, and maybe we are doing some kind of like not verbal communication,
energetic
exchange. Yes, that's what I was looking for. So yeah, I would say yeah to that.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Obsessed. Do you own a crystal? We know you do.
Of course I do.
Have you ever been to a sound bath?
Yes.
Okay. And then here's number 10. Were you an early adopter of The Secret, aka do you believe in the law of attraction?
Okay, I will say now, a little bit. I'm more of a, I say like fake it till you make it kind of person. And I was very into that, but I'm very now into for meditation to be magnetic.
I just joined last week.
Stop. I'm almost done with the first course, the like how to manifest course, because
oh my God,
she kind of isn't, she presents the law of attraction in a different way.
She sure does. And actually it was like rubbing me the wrong way a little bit. I was like, can everybody just like allow people to believe what they want to believe and like also say like this is how I'm presenting it? But I was like why is this triggering me? Then I'm like, I need to look at myself. Yes. What's being triggered in me?
Exactly. No, I'm super into that. And I think though it's still, her things are still a little bit law of attraction because it's all about like believing that you are worthy of these things you're calling in.
For sure.
But I'm very into the to be magnetic. Wait, I would like to add for how woo I am. I'm also a trained Reiki master.
What? You buried the lead.
I got certified in Akashic Records, in reading people's Akashic Records.
I literally just interviewed like Rita Ellen Merchandani. Do you follow her on Instagram? Oh my God, she's like an Akashic record reader. I interviewed her last week.
Okay, wait. You need to interview my friend Amy, who I did the Akashic Records training with, and we've stayed connected. Oh my God.
Yes.
And then we also did an intuitive healing course. So I also am an intuitive healer.
Caitlin! Can you heal me right now?
No,
what are we working on? What are we going to do?
I'm so out of practice. I haven't done any of that in years, which is sad, but it's all God. The Reiki master training I did the weekend I conceived my daughter, not to be like TMI, but during the training I like had these visions of this like really strong like medicine, like it was very female centered, and then like
divine feminine,
very much divine feminine, and then I conceived my daughter.
And then you were like, "Ooh, I'm feeling real into myself. Let's go." Like, let's do this thing. Oh my gosh, that's so wild and amazing. So have you done Reiki sessions like on other people?
I have. I never charged anyone for Reiki sessions. I only did them for family and friends. I did all of this really during COVID. So I think I got my Reiki level 1 in maybe 2019. And then the rest, and I wasn't sure after my time when I was at Bravo. I knew like I left it there, but I knew that was not meant for me. And so I thought maybe I would be this kind of wellness practitioner. And especially like 2016, 2017, 2018 was like a very cool time in the wellness scene, especially in LA. And you had all of these like bigger names coming up, like Balanced Blonde. I was very into like style rituals, where it was Kelsey Patel, all of that. And so I was very like into that and wondering, oh, is this what I want to do for my life? Do I want to be a Reiki master? Do I want to do all of that? So I, unfortunately, the way things went, never really made that like a practice of mine, but I would do it to myself a lot. It was mostly things I would, learned and then would do for myself, which I still will sometimes do. And like, I'll still tap into certain things, but no, I never charged anyone for it. Never did it on a stranger, just only like family and friends.
Well, being a doula, I mean, that feels like a calling. You're like literally bringing life into this world.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And there is an aspect of it too. where I very much believe in spirit babies. Obviously, I met my son, but I really believe in that. And I remember my doula mentor, Lori Bregman. She's like the #1 doula here. And she would tell us how she would sometimes have like 10 to 12 births in a month, which is births. I feel like I said that so weird. In a month, which is a crazy amount of births to attend and schedule because you don't know when a birth is going to happen. And she would say, well, I always like, I'll talk to the babies that are coming and I'll tell them like, hey, like discuss amongst yourselves, but I need you guys to figure out the schedule so I don't miss any of your births. So when I had more doula clients too, I would kind of do the same thing where I would like check in with the babies a little bit and say like, hey, can you not come this weekend? I've got something going on. Like, can you do that? So I do tap into that, I think, a little bit as a doula.
That is incredible. That is incredible. Yeah. I've seen things on spirit babies and been like kind of confused about like, is that all babies who are unborn or babies who have passed or babies who have been miscarried?
Yeah.
Is there like kind of like a difference between that?
Honestly, when I think of spirit babies, because I know there is the whole like spirit babies book and all of that, to me, it's more the spirit of your baby that you are meant to have that might be there. It can be a little tricky because random side note, I'm like obsessed with Mormonism and the Mormon culture and they're
okay. Random side note.
But I bring this up because they're very into like, there's a spirit of your baby. Like it's used a little bit negatively in the like you have to have kids because you don't want to leave a baby behind who's supposed to like be coming down to this earth. But when I think of spirit babies or when I'm working with people, I think of it more as like, yes, there is a spirit of your baby up there. Connect to the spirit of your baby, like talk to your baby. That's kind of a little bit where I come with having a third is like, sometimes I feel like there is a third spirit that I meant to have. Sometimes I don't feel it as strongly. But I don't, the bigger idea of spirit babies, I don't really know, like you were saying. I used it more as like when you are pregnant, there is a spirit of a baby that you can connect to if you are open to.
Okay, I want to talk about human design and I want to talk about how if you've done your kids' charts and like if you're parenting them differently because of this. And I feel like I know that you already are because like I am doing it too.
Okay, I actually have a surprise answer for you. I am not. I know. And I don't know.
Okay. Tell me what is your human design?
So my human design is a manifester. And I think
wow. Actually, I think that's feel like that's rare.
Manifestors are the second rare. The only like 9% of the population are manifestors. Which of course,
I'm
as a manifestor,
honored to be in your presence.
I love. Like that's such a manifestor thing to like love that I'm rare.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And I'm like, oh, I think I met one manifestor and it was like a friend of my hairdresser.
Yeah.
And she's like still in my Align app because like I like put her in while we were like doing my 4-hour hair and it was like the most wild chart. It was so different than mine. It was like so crazy.
Yeah. When I read that, I'm a manifestor and I was looking up, I think I'm a 1-4. So I'm an omniscient teacher. So when I read, as much as I like connect with my being a Gemini and my astrology, when I read my human design chart, I was blown away. I could not believe how much I connected with it, and it nailed me like to a T in a way though where it made me feel so free because I was like, yes, I am meant to have these big ideas and just do them and not think about it. I am meant to live a big life and all of these things. And it was just like the absolute permission slip I needed. And especially as a manifestor, because you are supposed to do, like, you're basically just supposed to have an idea and then do it and like be good. And my energy and how I'm like have bursts and then go quiet and I'm obsessed with it. Now I will tell you this, and this is a little bit from my mom too and how she didn't want our birth charts read. I did not do my kids' human design just because I was when they were so young, I didn't want to put anything on them or make assumptions about them based on their chart without them showing me first who they are. So I think that's why I was a little hesitant. And I think maybe as they get older, I will do it just so I can help them more. But for right now, I was worried I would do it and then know something. And then like if my son had a fit or something, be like, oh, well, like that's his energy or whatever. And
that's me every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Will is totally losing his mind because he's an emotional authority.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's fine because this is him. Like,
Yeah.
he's an emotional person.
Yeah.
And I'm validating it for me.
Totally.
Because I think for me, and as we've discussed, my first was so challenging that there was no validation anywhere.
Yeah.
No permission anywhere for me to be even frustrated by how it was all panning out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's interesting because my 2 kids are very different. They're so different. Are your kids really different too, personality wise?
They are. I haven't seen it as much. Well, it's hard because I have a boy and a girl. So sometimes I'm I also don't know if these differences are just boy versus girl. My son is classic boy, very energetic. He is very sensitive. It's because he was supposed to be a Pisces, and so I think he wasn't. He's an Aquarius, but I think there's still a little Pisces in him because he was supposed to be. And my daughter is more chill, will sit on your lap and cuddle with you. And I don't know though if that's boy versus girl or they're distinct personalities.
They're also still young,
totally.
4 and
They're
2,
4 and
still
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think I do plan when they're a little bit older, like I said, to use the human design. I think for some reason, something about it just feels like I would use it in a way where I'm putting it on them versus using it, like you said, to kind of have validation.
All the woo-woo, all the things we read, it's you just take what sticks and then you leave the rest. Do whatever feels right to you. My younger son, who is way more chill, his design is, he's a projector, but his is the exemplary human.
Oh my God.
And I was like, of course he is.
Yeah. Wait, what are you?
I'm a manifesting generator.
Okay.
I'm going to do 18 different projects, right? This is classic me. I think the gifts are so interesting too. And I think looking at everyone's gifts, what's your number one gift?
Let me see. My most important gift is life's information keepers. It says I'm blessed with a sense of adventure towards life in general and love new experiences. And therefore I'm always collecting new data about life. I love everything about chatting about what's going on in life. Well, that's very true.
It is. I'm you have a successful podcast and you're taking all of the stories that you've experienced and others to put on your Instagram.
Can I read this to you? Okay, it says,
please.
You also love speaking about these experiences and pass on this information you've gathered from your leading edge, as well as passing on stories about other people's experiences you've come across. This is because your soul is a story keeper, here to share and spread experiential information about life. This helps us all navigate it better, which I feel like is exactly what I'm doing on my Instagram.
Nailing your soul's purpose and your most important gift.
Yeah. Okay, by the way, after we hang up, I'm going to be family, don't talk to me for 6 hours. I need to get back into my human design and read everything about it again. Because I don't know if you find too with woo things, I definitely go in waves where I don't think I've read my human design stuff in a while. Yeah. But it's nice to be reminded and reconnect.
And I feel I'm always into something new. Right now I'm getting into Kabbalah a little bit.
Cool.
And also Too Big Magnetic, which is a very woo thing.
Yeah.
I'm so interested in why you chose to do that.
So I had felt like I was in a little bit of a woo lull and missed kind of tapping in with that. I'm always pretty big about asking the universe for signs.
Yes.
And that's something I've always done and I still do. And part of the 2B magnetic, is expanders. And I had been seeing things about 2B magnetic and somebody who is one of my expanders was talking about it. And I thought, okay, I need something. I feel a little bit in a rut. I have these big goals that I want to happen, but they're not happening yet. I feel like there's a new way I could be going about this. And then I remembered hearing about it. For me, my favorite thing is the expanders and looking at people and really not feeling jealous or why did they get this and not me? But instead seeing it as oh my gosh, they got that. That means I can get it too. That means that's an opportunity that even exists for someone. So why wouldn't it exist for me? So I've been very into that, and also did some crazy, which I did not expect, like unblocking of ideas that I was holding about things that I did not realize were affecting me and holding me back as much as they were. So I've really been into it.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
You are like deeply going into your own psyche.
Oh yeah. And I think right now, I don't know if you've gotten into it yet, but I'm in the magic dark, which is,
oh my God,
where you do all the work and you're waiting for your manifestations, and like nothing is happening. Like there's no more tests coming through. There's no opportunity. Like you're just in the stage where you're like, well, what's like gonna happen? And so I'm in the magic dark right now, where I feel like I've done the unblocking and the expanding and taking aligned action, and now I'm like waiting.
Well, I cannot wait to see your manifestations come to life. I will be cheering you on from over here.
Me too.
I feel like I'm in the part right now where you're being tested.
Yeah. The tests are so hard.
Really feeling it.
Yeah.
I had like this wild week this weekend in Vegas this past weekend. I'm having a lot of trouble like reintegrating.
Yeah. Well, especially after a wild weekend in Vegas. It's really hard though, especially when it's like a test or a trigger that comes from a friendship. I'm thinking very specifically for me about like a friendship that I have, where the last time we saw each other, I just felt like all I can say is like dull and low energy. And it felt like it wasn't even my voice. And I just was like, I don't know what is happening right now, why I'm being pulled down like this, but it doesn't feel good. And I don't think I want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is. There's like a grief that comes along with it.
Totally.
Caitlin. We really it really took a turn.
It did, but it was great. That's the best part about it. It's like, where are we going to go? Who knows?
You are a story keeper.
Thank you.
Not only are they like fun and they unleash magic in us all, because I mean, at the end of the day, for me, a belief in woo-woo is just like, oh, there's something bigger than us out there. Like,
yeah,
we're not alone here.
Yeah.
There's something else going on. There's something else at play.
Yeah, doesn't that feel so nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels great.
I love it.
Me too.
I like to think of this like whole woo side of me as like a fun secret. You know, it's like two truths and a lie. And it's like, is the lie that I'm also on the side like a Reiki master who knows how to read your Akashic records? Like, who would have thought? But it's just such a fun part.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, to like tap into. And I for some reason, I'm a real believer too in like, you know, things come for me, and I think it's part of my human design of, if I think about something or something presents itself to me, that's because it's supposed to be happening. Like I'm not in it comes up and then I think about it. It's like, if I have the thought, all of the background has already happened and like it's meant to be going on. And for some reason recently, I've really like gotten back into the woo woo a little bit more, doing this podcast. I started listening to, this is like the third time I'm going to say her name, but apparently she's very important for me right now, but
and probably for more of us too, if you're going to say it again.
But the Balanced Blonde, who I used to listen to her podcast like in 2018, I like rediscovered it and was listening to back episodes where she was talking about like Pleiadians and like all of that.
I haven't gotten into any of that.
Oh yeah, I've very, very minimally touched on that. But so I've been listening to more podcasts about that, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a nice way to live your life.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it.
Yeah.
It like just feels so good.
Yeah.
That's all we want to do is feel good, right?
Exactly. It feels so good. It's harmless. Like,
for sure.
It's fun. It all is just fun. So if we talk again, I'd love for Tony to come share some stories.
Tony's gonna come through.
I got chills from Tony.
Tony, he's always with us. Honestly, sometimes I talk to him.
I love that.
I'm like, Tony,
I love
are
that.
you here?
Yeah.
When I call in my guides. I don't know if you do ever call in guides.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, Tony's one of my guides now.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Tony and Panjme, which is a name that came to me in a meditation.
Wow.
And I was like, sure. Panjme.
What's so funny about guides too is that in a meditation, I can't even just, like when I call on guides also, some of them are like big blue giant people. One's like an old guy in a rocking chair. Like it's not And it's very cool. And I'm like calling on my guides, and those are the people that come up. And I'm like, sure, why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine looks a lot like Dumbledore. And I think that's because that's how I see like a wizard guide.
I love
like
that.
I think Dumbledore is like always my like North Star, you know?
love that. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh, Caitlin, thank you so much for this.
Thank
This is
you.
so fun.
Thank you. This was amazing.
What do your guides look like? Do you call on them too? And how woo are you? Did you take the quiz with us? DM me on Insta at The Woo Report or get in touch by jumping on the email list at thewooreportpodcast.com. It would be so great if you would press the subscribe button on YouTube. And if you love this app, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thank you for giggling with us today. I am so, so grateful you are here. Bye.